Hello everyone, welcome back to another food tech lesson with Miss Tung and Miss Allen. It's Miss Allen here. Today what we are going to be doing is making salsa. The ingredients that you will need to make salsa is a red onion, a tomato, some fresh lime juice, or you can just get lemon juice or lime juice in a bottle, some salt, and then any optional spices. So I've gone for ground coriander, crushed chilies, and some basil. But again, with these, you can get some fresh herbs to make it even fresher and a lot more tastier. I've also gone for a spring onion to give it a little bit more flavour. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at cutting our tomatoes, okay? You have all done your basic knife skills, so you all know your health and safety with your knife. You're not going to run around the room with the knife. You're going to place it on a surface so that it is safe, okay? You may need two knives for this, a small knife and a big knife, because an onion is particularly hard to cut, but a tomato is very soft and easy to cut, okay? So I'm going to start by cutting the tomatoes, as that is the general base for salsa. Okay, so I'm going to finely chop the tomatoes, and I'm using my bridge technique here. Okay, so I'm going to chop my tomatoes in quarters, and then I'm going to take my quarters and I'm going to line them up next to each other, and I might cut them into slices. Just like that. Okay, being very careful with your knife, and then dicing it, okay? And you want to make it quite fine. Remember, with the knife, let the knife do the work, okay? So if you just slice it like this, the knife will eventually do the work. And if you're finding it slipping around too much, flatten some pieces out, okay? And just slowly and carefully, always making sure that we're being careful with our knife, chop the tomato into cubes, okay? Nice small cubes, using my claw technique now so that my knife doesn't chop my fingers off. Okay, again, slicing my tomato using my bridge technique, allowing the knife to do the work, and slicing that, okay? And you can see I'm pressing a little bit too hard there and a lot of juice came out. So let the knife do the work. Okay. Okay, and you're going to take a bowl and just put in all your chopped tomatoes into a bowl. Okay, and just have that nicely on the side, ready for presentation. Okay, just finishing the last bit of my tomato. I do have two tomatoes here, but for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to do the one. But you guys can use as many tomatoes you want, because it depends how many people it is feeding. Okay, if it's just for yourself, I would only use one or two. If it's for a big family, you can use 4 or 5. It's completely up to you how many you're going to use. Okay, so I've put my tomatoes in my bowl. Ready. Just going to scrape all this juice to the side so it doesn't allow me to slip while using my knife. I'm going to cut off the end of my onion. Okay, this allows me to place my onion flat on the table so it doesn't roll around and it's more secure. I'm going to do a nice little slit in the skin and just spend some time, no need to rush this part, peeling the onion and making sure all the skin is off before you start to cut it, okay? So make sure all that skin is off. Okay, and it might be a little bit tricky in some areas as it does tend to get stuck. So don't worry about that. If you're finding it hard, you could always cut it in half and try it that way. And there you go, my onion is now peeled, okay? And you just peel it all to the top and pull it off. You don't want to cut off this area here because this releases an enzyme, and that's how you can cry while cutting an onion. Okay, so you just cut it in half. Just be careful with it. And with a red onion, or any onion, you make some slits down the middle, okay? Again, using your claw technique, your claw grip, making sure you're being very careful with the knife. Okay, and then that allows you to cut it like this, and all these little bits of the onion will just part, and you get some really nice small sections for your onion. And if you want it even smaller, you can go back and create some even tighter slits. Completely up to you what your preferences are in your food. Okay, you can be creative with this. It doesn't need to be large cubes, so you can do whatever you kind of want and whatever your preference is for this meal. Okay, there we go, some red onion. I'm probably not going to add it all because then it's not going to be what I like personally, so I'm just going to mix that in with my hands, my washed hands, making sure that you're washing your hands before you're touching and handling food. Okay, and then just make sure all the little bits are mixed in. Again, now I'm going to sweep all that to the side. I'm going to finish off the fresh veg with a nice bit of spring onion. You just pull off the leaves and just slice it, finely slice it, really carefully, constantly being careful with your knife, constantly thinking about your bridge skills and your claw grip. Okay, just going to do that. Okay, and mixing that all in. Okay, and then I'm going to top off my salsa with a little sprinkle of lemon juice. And again, you can use fresh lemon juice or lime juice, completely up to you. I'm going to go in with half a teaspoon of salt, being really careful when you pour the salt so it doesn't get too much. Just sprinkle that around. A small amount of chili flakes. I'm just going to go for half a teaspoon again. Sprinkle that around. And I'm going in with the rest of my spices now, okay? Half a teaspoon of ground coriander, sprinkling that around. Try and make sure that you're sprinkling it evenly so that it varies out around the salsa, so you don't just get like massive chunks of chili in your mouth and it'll be too spicy, okay? So make sure you're mixing it around, okay? A little bit of basil. Remember, you can use your fresh basil as well. So I'm mixing that all in really evenly, really nicely, and placing it in a nice bowl, ready to present. Okay, I'm going to clear everything up around me. I'm going to take a really nice picture of that, and I'm going to upload that to class charts, okay? Thank you for joining my lesson today. I look forward to seeing your results. See you soon.